Welcome to Crafty Hints. If we haven't met, I'm Chantel and I'm so happy to have you here. All of these DIYs are 5 minutes or less and very budget conscious. You can follow me on my social media. Let's get crafty. Okay, spring's in the air, and any time of year we just need to refresh different areas of our home. So I took these little jelly jars and I put half a cup of cold water and then 1 drop of food coloring. Now this is a gel, so it's super concentrated. If you have the other food coloring, you might need a couple more drops. But this was plenty dark. Okay, now you're going to put whatever scent you would like. I went with lavender. I thought that would be nice, and I'm going to use this in the restroom. I thought that this might be something nice for spring and summer, just a great scent. And add as many drops as you'd like. Probably, 10 to 15 drops. I also, in one of them, added a drop or 2 of lemon or lemongrass. Those smell good together. But Google it. There's so many different fragrances you can put together. Okay, I gave those a good stir. Now you want to heat up your water, not quite to boiling, but pretty warm, so it's kind of steamy like I am here. And now I'm measuring out another half a cup of water. I don't want too much because we want this to balance out. Now I'm taking one of these I'm going to take some salt first. I apologize. Let me grab a teaspoon of salt and I'm going to put that in there. Now you need the salt so that these don't start to mold. Now I'll take my Knox gelatin and I'm taking 1 packet. And I'll stir this in here and keep stirring until it dissolves. And it's important, you want to put that scent in the cold water so that the heat doesn't, make it dissipate or anything like that. But again, use your favorite scents. If you want it stronger, use a little more. If you're a little more scent sensitive, maybe just a little bit less. But it definitely has my restroom smelling fabulous. Okay, continue to stir this until it is all dissolved. And then I tried to kind of pop any of those extra bubbles. Now I'm just going to pour half of it into each. These are just a cup size jelly jars. And I will then put it in the fridge. You could let them sit out and cool, but I just put them in the fridge for a couple hours, kind of like you would Jell-O. And I just gave those a good stir. There they are. They've been sitting for a few hours. And they're good to go. I found these lids at the Dollar Tree, and you'll just screw those on, and now the scent can come out. I thought these were fabulous. You could also use those tops maybe for some baking soda in your fridge. All about spring cleaning and refreshing kind of, but it's any time of year. Look how pretty that looks. You could use any color you wanted. But it works well in my restroom. Oh, I wish you could smell them. So make your own. All right, this is part of a wonderful collab with all of these lovely ladies. Krista from Krista's Crafty Life and the co-host Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY are hosting this. There's going to be a playlist below that you can click on. It'll take you from one video to the next. Some fabulous everyday home decor. I got this wreath from Walmart. The flowers I picked up half off at Michael's, and now I'm just clipping them off the stem. Now on this wreath, it's just a vine wreath. This one's a 12-inch. You can kind of tuck them under some of the bindings that they have on there. I'm kind of just trying to figure out how I want to lay my flowers. So I have some cream colored tulips, and then I have some different shades of blue. I decided to grab some floral wire. I was thinking, I just wasn't sure if I'm going to glue these down at all, and this is one way if I decided I wanted to remove them. I do decide later that I'm not going to change out this wreath for anything else, and I want those flowers to lay there permanently, but this does give me a good spot to continue to tuck those flowers into place. So I would use a little bit of floral wire, even if I did this again the same. You can pick up the floral wire at the Dollar Tree or, anywhere that has these flowers. Dollar Tree last year did have some nice tulips. I haven't seen any yet, but you might be able to score some or whatever your favorite flower is. Okay, so I have them going up and I have them coming down. And I'm going to bring the ones coming down just a bit past the center point mark on this wreath. I thought that would be pretty. So you can just continue tucking these in and adjusting them until they're just the way you want them to be. I thought this cream and the blues just went together so pretty. You'll have to let me know if you put up a wreath with each different season. I know I've got one that I made 2 years ago for fall, and I just love it, and I put it up this fall also. All right, so I'm just finishing up with that floral wire. And then I got this wooden W on clearance at Hobby Lobby, but you can find, these initials at Walmart and any craft store. So I painted that the color plaster, and I thought that would go well with the cream color. It's not a stark white, it's kind of in between that cream and the white, so I think it'll fit in nicely. Then what I did was I took 2 bread ties. Now I've told you guys, waste not, want not. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you here in a minute. But I did tack down some of those flowers. So you can see I put 2 different bread ties. All I did was put down a little bit of hot glue, set the bread ties on there, let it cool, and then I put some on top of that center also. So I'm just twisting that in there. The one was a little bit shorter than the other, so I just went around some of the flowers and twisted it tightly. You could use more floral wire, but I just thought this is a little bit of a thicker wire possibly that might hold this a little bit better. And this was before I fully decided I was going to go glue crazy and started with this W where I did start adding that glue in there. I just decided this is going to be something I want nice and sturdy on the door. I made this for my sister's family. And I'm just wrapping that wire that's around the back just a little bit tighter, making sure everything's tucked in so that, we don't have any scratches on her door or anything like that. Can just tuck it in with that grapevine. And doesn't that look pretty? This is just on my faux window. I thought I'd hang that up quick to show you. Don't you just love that? I think those are such pretty colors together. And one more. I used my Cricut Joy to make a stencil. Now, you could use another stencil, but I like this because there's adhesive. But you could also go on Etsy and pick one out there. They'll ship it to you. One other way I would do this is do contact paper and then print out. I'm making a dog paw. So you could print this out on printer paper and then get contact paper and just use an X-Acto knife and cut this out of the contact paper. That would work well. All right, simple as that. Now this is a lid to my jar. I got that at the Dollar Tree. I love these jars. They are so pretty. Just going to take a craft washcloth there and set it there so it doesn't roll. I want to be careful of the sides. There's a couple seams, so I want to just center that. So I kind of put my finger on each side to get it centered. When I did my stencil, maybe I didn't need transfer tape, but I did just so it would go on there well. And I put a line right down the middle so that I can center it. And as you can see with my stencil, I made it extra long because I'm going to use the Armour etch. And I want to just make sure it doesn't get on any other part of the jar. So I'm going to center this on here. And I thought this will make an adorable pet treat jar. So you could do anything. You could put on their flower. This is just a jumping off point for you to think of other things you could put on here. But I think this would be great, you know, as a little gift for any pet owner. All right, so we're just going to peel this off, and then we want to make sure and rub all the way around there so we have no bubbles. We don't have anywhere that the Armour etch can get underneath. So you just take a paintbrush and I tap it on there, almost, well, like stenciling, right? I kind of start in the center, get the majority there, and then I just tap right on the edges of this. You don't want to rub your brush against it because it might get underneath. So I just sit there and tap along until I make sure all of that glass is covered. And actually, at the end, when you're ready to take this off, if you wanted to, you could take like a craft stick and scrape this off and put it back in your jar. You can reuse it. So this will last you a long time. I've seen Armour etch at craft stores, but you can also get it on Amazon. I'll link that down below. That's where I did get this jar. It was a better bargain than what I found other places. All right, so it is all nice and covered. I just love how this works. Okay, so I left this for about 25 minutes, I think is about what it was, but wipe it off and see if it's ready to you. If not, it says 5 to 15 minutes, but I left it a little bit longer, and now you're just going to wash it off. I used a little dish pan to wash this off, and that's all I did. I got the majority off, then I peeled off the stencil, and then I scrubbed it again. And then I took it to my sink. Now, remember, don't rinse this in your sink. I may or may not have done that one time, and there's a little spot in my sink that the enamel doesn't have that shiny finish. So unless you have like your kitchen sink where it might be metal, that might work. But look at that. Holy cow. Is that not beautiful? So I stacked the bones around and then I stacked them in the middle. Isn't that adorable? I put a bow on it. I think I've got to give it to the neighbor. So cute. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a couple other videos for you. Remember, take a little bit of time for you to craft. Also, go to the playlist down in the description box. I so very much appreciate each of you, and just remember how fabulous you are.